don't remember it either.
When I originally got this game, I obviously did a lot of driving around here, and there wasn't much of an option when the game first came out of where you could drive as there is now. And then eventually they came out with I think the Scandinavia, France was the first one I think came out, wasn't it, the DLC. Then Scandinavia. So you ended up with a bit more places to go, but still a lack of options. And then I found Pro Mods when Pro Mods came out, and just to give people a sort of an idea what the difference between Pro Mods, I think it came out after the Scandinavia DLC, or maybe even before, because I think, hey, settle you. I'd indicated ages ago. Whoops, what am I doing? It might have been even before Scandinavia. I think I think it was, because they added Finland, Norway, and Sweden and stuff, and then SCS came out with the Scandinavia DLC. But I think I got Pro Mods after that. And at that time, in the map I had currently discovered 66%. I'd driven 66% of the available roads on the vanilla maps. I put Pro Mods on, that jumped down to 20%, or just over 20%. And I've been using Pro Mods ever since. So even though I've done a lot of driving around here, it was a long time ago, and I've been to other places. And even though I've been to a few places a couple of times on Pro Mods and stuff like that, you don't tend to remember it, because how far and few between the amount of times you go there. The only place I do remember and recognise is Iceland, because Iceland's my favourite, and that's where I ended up. Normally, I have my headquarters.
This certainly looks nice with the mountains and everything here.
It is, isn't it? I might need to go into Crash Cam or the other one to give me a better view of the scenery here for a bit.
I'm just almost, speaking of crashing, I'm almost crashing here. I'm too busy looking at the scenery and not paying attention to the words. Maybe I'll slip down to absolute hole.
This is all pretty much the same as everywhere else, trees and grass. It's the background scenery I want to see.
Now there's a toll booth coming up.
A booth full of tolls. Is there just drive on through to the other side one, a doors one? Looks like they all are. Oh yeah, it's a bit narrow.
I think with these you have to always get to the right, because some of those gates don't open.
Yeah, I just found one.
Walk over this side here until you get that sorted out.
It's gonna be fun. Come on, stop holding back. Yeah, that one was very narrow. Wait for someone to crash into me, wait for it to happen, there we go. There we go. You can get Or not. What have I just crashed into now? Oh, really? Is it that? Is it seriously going to be that? Is that going to be my nemesis? I can't run that over, apparently. No, I can't run that over. I'm going to get stuck here because I've got traffic all the way behind me too. That's annoying. How can you not run over something like that? It's not made of like titanium or anything. Oh, shush you. No one asked you.
Well, I think what they really need to do is just make these toll booths so that every gate open. Because that's stupid. You're driving along, you got trailers, you might have double trailers.
Yeah.
And you pull into a toll booth not knowing that it's not going to open, you're stuck.
Yeah, well, especially with these ones because they've got no icons on them. The other ones you got icons or something or a big red. The one I had on it didn't say a thing. The one I originally went to did not say anything about whether or not I can go through or whatever.
Yeah, but I think these ones in Austria, because like I said, I just did this recently. I found out the hard way. I think you gotta get all the way over to the right.
Yeah, follow the GPS. But they say that in most of them too. You go to the ones in Spain. The ones in Spain you've got to go to the right. Now the reason you've got to go to the right with those is obvious because they've got the bar across the top that your truck can't get through. Your cab's too high. Then you got other ones that tell you to go to the right, but you can go through any of them because there's ones that you got to pay or you can just drive through. That one is confusing as hell, and you're right, they need to do something to let you know.
Yeah, I think the easiest fix is to just make it so that you can go through any of the gates.
Or a sign saying trucks only.
Yeah, clearly marked.
Because the problem is, especially if you're using pro mods, by the time you actually come back this way again, you've probably forgotten about that and you end up doing some damage and whatnot.
Well, here comes the rain. Nowhere to go there. The traffic will finally come to a dead stop.
Well, it's another 4 hours to go and we can deliver this off. At least I don't damage the cargo doing that. I can't believe I couldn't drive over that little plastic thing.
Exit right.
It damaged my trailer. That's ridiculous. Oh. Drink of my orange and mango juice. I'm feeling a little nauseous. Yeah. And I do know why I'm fairly nauseous, because people are wondering if I think I'm getting sick or not. Like I said, I'm stressed. There's many unfortunate things with the mental disability I was blessed with. I wasn't asked about it. Would you like to have this? No, hell no, go away. No. Thrusted upon me without my consent. Is very susceptible to stress. More affected by stress than most normal people. And yeah, which is something you've got to avoid. Oh, obviously you can't avoid stress in life, but you've got to do your best. But I get stressed about things that normally most people wouldn't get stressed about, or they would be stressed but at a level that they don't notice they're actually stressed. So that's why I'm feeling a bit nauseous because of what's going on, because of the uncertainty of everything. So
yeah, I certainly can relate. I don't know, specifics about your disability, but I also suffer from some mental health issues as well. Certainly feel like I get stressed easily.
yeah, well, it has effect. There's a lot of them. Obviously, the personality disorders, as they call them. I have 2 of them, but my main one can, because of the nature of it, can cause other ones. And then a lot of people actually get misdiagnosed with what I've got, having one of those other ones because it's caused it. Yeah, I will say it's been hell to live with. It is pretty hell. The one I've got's got the highest suicide rate of all personality disorders. It's very hard to notice, and you do for other people, because this one affects, everyone's affected differently by it. It's not like ones like bipolar where you can actually see the bipolar affecting the person. There's a lot of similarities, same with OCD and PTSD and stuff like that, which makes it harder. But yeah. And that's just the way it is. I've never really asked for sympathy about it, just wanted to be understood. And the funny thing is that all around the world, people I talk to all around the world are very understanding about it, unlike where I live. A place that is well known for really friendly people, but not when you've got a disability. So, and our mental health, what's the way to say it, department area, you know what I mean, people like psychologists and all that in this country, not very good, especially with this. In fact, early in 2000 a study was done, and in Australia and New Zealand actually, and they found that Australian psychologists and New Zealand psychologists were very discriminating against people with my condition. Australia did something about it, and funny thing is Australians are a lot more, I found, a lot more understanding. Now, I don't want to go into it, but it's an interesting thing that you have to know. Well, it's all subjective, I suppose. I won't go down that road. It's hard to explain anyway. But it's an amazing
right,
thing.
And then exit right.
In that aspect,
right.
We're in this country where we're pretty well known to be really friendly. You don't sort of get that, and nothing was sort of done. I had the same experience dealing with psychologists. And public, and they don't realise it at all because it's normal, what they think is normal and stuff like that, the way they talk, there's nothing wrong with it. But the problem is you never get listened to. You sort of basically, you're the one living with it, And this is my experience and what I believe's happens to me. And you try and explain it to anyone here or a psychiatrist here, and it's almost that you're wrong. That it's easy fix, other people can deal with it and all that, and they don't first off recognise what you're going through. As far as they're concerned, it's a choice and you can make that choice, which is not correct. And I don't know with anyone with a mental health issue, but for me, they almost treat you like you're using it as an excuse. Where for me is, I'm trying to explain what I'm going through because I want to get rid of it. I don't want to be like this. I'm not using it as an excuse. I want to stop experiencing this. And that's what they don't get. They don't understand it. If you want to solve a problem, you've got to understand how the problem occurs, what was going on to end up with that situation, to stop that situation. But instead, with a lot of things in life, people go, no, that's wrong, you know, no, don't do it. Oh, how can you be like that? And all these other things. It's, no, I'm going to stick with this one to be on the safe side. No one investigates how people get into that situation in the first place. Forget that even though we're human and think, oh, we've always got a choice. The thing is everyone's got a choice, yes, but no one ever goes out and goes, okay, in that situation where they are able to make that choice, or maybe just because the choice is there for you at that time, was your brain able to make that choice or be able to understand that? And as human beings, there's situations that cause us the brain not to be able to make that choice. There's a reason why it made that other choice, and trying to understand why the brain made that other choice is not what they try and do. And if you go out and understand that, then you can put in procedures and come up with things to try and stop that person from being in a position or deal with that situation better. That's just my view on it, so. And of course, with this situation coming up with the rent and everything and losing a lot of money, is going to cause a lot of issues for me and can worsen my situation. And as I've got older and gone through a lot, I've fought hard. Like there was a majority of my life I didn't know I had this. I was diagnosed very, very late, and at that time I thought, finally, you know. Because you spend most of your life thinking something wrong with you. Why do you do this? Why do you react like this? Why do you think this? How come everyone else is going through the same thing and they can deal with it fine and you're not? You feel weak, you feel useless, you feel all sorts of feelings, which just compounds the whole situation, makes it worse for you. Because growing up like this was normal for me, and I just assumed everyone else was the same, and you didn't understand that. And then to find out there's a reason for it, and it's not your fault. It was a good thing, and thought I was getting help, which I didn't get. I ended up going through a situation where the actual mental health ended up making it worse for me instead of helping me. Getting in the right hand lane, and yeah, that has made it a lot harder for me in my life.
Keep right and then exit right.
Ever since then, with other things as well. When you really go through this thing, one thing you need is understanding from people, especially people around you, people that care for you. But unfortunately, it's just the nature of what I live with, and a lot of people find this because they end up finding you could spend most of your life choosing between the lesser of two evils, and a lot of people with this condition just end up just being alone and not getting friends and stuff, because when you go through this, it's horrific for you, and it's obviously horrific for the people that go around you as well, but you lose a lot of friends and stuff like that because of it, with symptoms that you go through that are actually there to say this person's struggling, he needs help. Instead of that, they use it, well, for me they use it to say, oh, he's this type of person and I don't want to be around him. And yeah, so I've lost a lot of friends over my time in life and stuff like that, a lot of time alone, and it's just the nature of it. And you just lose trust, and then you lose hope as you go on in life, and it doesn't help. And I believe if I was brought up in other countries, I would have been a lot better off, because the situation and that, and the public, the people I talk to around the world about my situation, I don't feel like I'm a piece of crap. I'm a horrible person after it. I actually feel like people care, where I don't get that in my own country where I live, which is quite sad, you know, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, yeah, it's happening to me, of course I'm going to think it's sad, but it's not just sad for me, it's sad for everyone that sort of goes, so it's bad enough going through these type of things in any country alone. That makes life's hard enough as it is without having extra things thrown at you. But that's just the way life is. But yeah, so don't know where I was going with this. I'm just using my stream as therapy today. But yeah, yeah, I don't need this extra stuff coming up, because it's just going to cause a heck of hassles. Especially if I lose the channel. I spend so much time on this, and I will admit it's not grown. It's very small. I've done this for a couple of years or so, and
Keep right.
And maybe that's
and
because I don't use a
right.
camera. I think maybe Twitch is more, streaming is more favourable to people to watch. If
Right.
you've got a person on camera, it's more interactive because it's live, and that I get that. And like I said, I was looking at a camera, but now, who knows what's going to happen. I have to find out how much it's going to go up by, and then I have to... Didn't they... Oh, it's just 2 lanes. Of course it's 2 lanes, I've gone wide. Yeah, and then I've got to go, and with this country we have the benefit, which is, I don't know what the equivalent would be in America. I know you have it, but I also know that you're only allowed on it for a certain amount of
Get ready
time.
to turn left.
And there's different types. There's the unemployment benefit, which they pay you enough to get
Turn
you
left.
by and to be able to find a job and all that kind of stuff. There's a benefit for solo mothers.
It was a nice ride.
There's the benefit for people that are currently ill but are going to get better, and then you've got the what they call supported living, which used to be the disability allowance. And on the disability allowances is what I'm on, which is for people that are disabled and struggle to find a job or anything else like that. You pretty much get the same amount of money as the people unemployed, who have the more of a chance to be able to get out and find a job than the people with disabilities. So, yeah, mate. Yeah, so, and like I said, and because of that, with this up and coming issue, I'm going to end up losing money. And I'd say quite a bit if by the sounds of it's going to be a huge increase in the rent. And I might at the very most get half of that covered. I don't know if someone's knocking on my door, it is the wind. So, yeah. So hence the reason why I'm stressed. Laying in bed, keeping them warm. Fair enough. It's actually a really hot day today. It's just extremely windy. Oh, it's fun. I want to see how much actually. I'm just gonna have a quick look at what have I got? Two garages. I've already got. Okay, so I wonder how much those trucks are. They look like they're skinnies as well. Actually, if I go to driver manager, it will tell me. Yes, skinnies. So how much is that? Oh, I can buy another one. So I can go to my 1 and 0. Here we go. It's 4 degrees there? Yeah, no, we've got about 14, I think. Well, that might be the low. The high might be 18 or something like that, so yeah. I'm not bothering going through and looking at all the drivers. I'm just clicking on the first one, putting them in the truck, and off we can go make money. Let's find another delivery. What looks good? From Venice. We've got one in Italy, one in France. Back into there's a short one just back into Austria. Oh, you got ATS running, but you're going to come in and join us tomorrow for a bit of a black round ATS? Then we're going to France. That'll be 12 half an hour.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Go along the southern coast there. Fair enough, mate.
Okay, here we go.
We're just gotta go around the corner.
Go straight on.
Of course, we'll be driving through the night. What they need, there's not a great big melting pot, but a similar thing to farming sim,
Go straight on.
where you want to sleep and you go to a place and you go click sleep, and then it goes to the other players. This person wants to sleep.
Get ready
Do you
to turn
agree?
left.
And you click yes or no, and you sleep as well.
Turn left.
That way, if you want to sleep through the night to drive through the day, you can.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left. This is where it ends.
Technically, it's where it begins, love, not ends.
Drive safe.
I love that. Drive safe, because people want to go out and crash.
Let's go.
You know what? So far, I know I'm going to jinx myself because it happens every time I mention this, but so far I haven't had any brake problems today. Have you got ETS as well? AIM? Or just ATS?
Let's see.
We know when you're ready to go.
Good to go.
And go we good.
Turn left.
Hopefully. Without crashing into the fence like I generally do.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
Oh, okay. Well, I even got the ones for ETS, all the DLCs.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
I shall await your return, sir, and carry on that conversation with questions galore.
Exit now.
Getting on the left lane because we've got a left-hand turn coming up here. Just to remind people, this week, well actually in 2 days' time, which is Saturday for me, Friday night for some of you, you're starting my summer car. A disappointment. Get into gear.
I gotta remember, tune in for that. See if that's how.
Yeah, if no one's ever seen
Keep left and then turn left.
Left. Then turn left.
Turn left.
I've got a bad feeling. What was I saying? Yeah, if you haven't never seen the game, come along, especially for the beginning. It's got one of the most amazing opening sequences I've ever seen in a game. Funny as heck. I was
Keep left.
what was I going to say? I just got a text message that's throwing me. Yeah, I was hoping to use the wheel. Why am I indicating? It makes no sense. I was hoping to use my wheel, which I no doubt will, but I was hoping to use my controller as well to make it easy. Because there'll be a lot of walking around requiring the keyboard, a lot of keys obviously. So I tried it out to see if I could use both, but I can't, unfortunately. Well, I sort of can, but I've got a PlayStation 4 controller, and the problem is there's a couple of pedals, the R2 or bumpers or whatever they're called, R2.